Chapter 22. The sounds of soft sobs filled the room because we knew that Ping was gone. We kept hugging him, hoping that our love for him would bring him back to life, but it was no use. What would Lily do now? Lily had lost the love of her life again and was having to cope a second time now. There wasn't a teddy bear large enough to replace Ping in her life. This must have been how Monique felt when she lost Fluffy. "That's it," I yelled. "Everyone, get off of Ping this instant." Everyone did as I said, and I plugged in the toaster, put Ping's fingers inside, and pushed down on the lever to turn the toaster on. I ran over and grabbed the bucket of mop water and stood above Ping. In this last amazing moment of hope I was giving to everyone, I could only think of one thing to say. I lifted the mop water above my head and while pouring the water on Ping, yelled, "Saki tuna!" For a split second, the thought crossed my mind that I didn't need to be standing right over Ping to splash him and the toaster with water. I should have done it from 10 feet away. It was too late. The water hit, and I could feel the electricity from the toaster light up my world. The world seemed to move in slow motion. I could feel the electricity running through my fingers and through each strand of hair. I felt it right under my toes as I took flight. The electric current had given me liftoff and blasted me through the air. But the strange thing was that during this slow motion flight I was taking, I could hear music. The Blue Danube, a very famous waltz written by Johann Strauss II, was playing in my head as I flew through the air. My shoelaces were slowly dangling over my head. The look of shock on Monique's face was priceless. Splats of water seemed to float in the air, wobbling and wiggling like worms in outer space. A pepper shaker flew right by my face. That was a close one. But why did an ice cream parlor have a pepper shaker? Crazy. My arms felt uncontrollable as they flung in circles attempting to gain some balance. I felt completely weightless and helpless. But I was enjoying the music in my head. If only all accidents, spills, and crashes were this relaxing. But time caught up to me, and the waltz in my head came to a brutal end as wham! I crashed into the jukebox on the other side of the ice cream parlor. I looked up just in time to see some ice cream fly right into my face. I quickly got up without caring about any injury I might have and ran over to Ping. On the way over, Bradley said, "Wow, that looked like it hurt." "Yep, it sure did, but I didn't have time to feel pain. I had to know if Ping was back." "Ping, can you hear me?" I asked. No response. I began to shake him while the others started to gather around us. "Come on, Ping," I said. We all just sat there and stared at Ping, looking and waiting for any sign of life. An eye opened. "Ping!" I shouted. Both eyes opened, and Ping looked at me. "No cheesecake for you," Ping said, and we both started laughing. The others laughed too, even though I knew they didn't understand our inside joke. Ping stood up, and we all gave him a big hug. It seemed that his memory had returned completely, because when he saw Lily, he quickly embraced her and told her he would never leave her again. What a smooth talker. I wish I could come up with lines like that. Chapter 23. Let's do it. Lily and Ping had reunited. It wasn't an easy job, but somebody had to do it. Sticky Harry served up some midnight milkshakes, and we sat around a table sharing our stories. Bradley and I were bragging about how, in one night, we destroyed 2 restaurants, brought a man back from the dead, and defeated the notorious Axe Gang. They all had a good laugh at that. We were full of questions for Ping, and he answered them all. We found out that Ping died the first time while eating a ham sandwich as he crossed the road. Ping was on his way back home from talking to his karate instructor about quitting karate, and he bought a ham sandwich from a street vendor. While crossing the road, he started choking on a sandwich, and then he was hit by a car. He said, though, that it wasn't the car that killed him. He choked to death on the sandwich. I told everyone about when I picked Ping up from the morgue dressed like my mom. The night was full of fun and laughter. We talked for hours. We also helped clean the place. Finally, we all had to go home. Ping was going to go home with Lily. Bradley had a messy restaurant to go home to, and Monique asked me for a ride home on my bike. I blushed a little, but told her I would give her a ride. Before Ping and Lily left, I had to talk to them one more time because I knew I might never see them again. I told Ping that he was the best friend I'd ever created, and he thanked me for bringing him back to life twice. I gave Lily the toaster and told her it was an early wedding gift and that you never know when you might need a toaster. We hugged, and finally I had to let Ping go. I'll never forget our fond memories of Ping and our crazy adventures. Monique hopped on my handlebars, and I balanced her all the way home. I really need to invest in some buddy pegs for my bike. Chapter 24. Let's finish it. Everything went back to normal, but in a good way. Bradley is still a bully. He still picks on me to do his homework, but all he does is make threats. He hasn't hit me since the great food fight. The only reason he still threatens me is to keep up his bully reputation at school. After school, I go to Chang's Chinese buffet and help Bradley with his homework and with catching mice. I would love to say Monique and I are dating, or at least holding hands, but we aren't. But we do say hi to each other in the hallway whenever we walk by each other, and if I'm around any other nerds, she says hi in a flirty way to get the other boys jealous. I love it. I still find time to sit in my stool at Ripley's Ice Cream or Not, but I no longer have any sorrows to drown away, so I really have to find a good excuse to show up. Sticky Harry is always happy when I come in. He likes to make fun of my Civil War veteran impersonation. Quick Draw Joe moved on with his life and is now painting happy couples in the city park, so I hardly see him anymore. Word about Ping and Lily got around Chinatown, and now whenever I pass an Asian student, they give me a little bow of respect for what I did for Ping and Lily. I bow back as a way of saying sorry for pulling their hair. And my wanted posters were removed. I kept a few of them. I wish I had my best friend still, but I'm glad I got over my little problems, like him going out with Monique, so that I could have an amazing friendship with him rather than having bad feelings towards him. I learned the importance of letting go of the things that make you unhappy so you can enjoy your life before you choke on a ham sandwich and get hit by a car. So life was turning out great. I felt like $1,000,000. I felt like I was king of the hill, on top of the world, master and commander, the big cheese, top dog, until, well, let's just say I never saw my next adventure coming.